If you have ever watched NBC's Hannibal, you might understand the vibes that Muse has very quickly. With Daredevil Born Again coming up this year, I wanted to delve into the origin story of Muse, who was a very short-lived villain in the Daredevil run, but is in Born Again, and I think they will be a very important player for at least a little bit of the season, especially because they do exist in the Devil's Reign storyline in the comics, which is being adapted in the next year or so of Marvel. Daredevil Born Again, of course, will branch a little bit from the Netflix drama, so some of the things will be different, I'm sure, but some of the things will remain the same. And this character was first introduced in 2016, and the last appearance of Muse was in 2018. And this will be the second Marvel serial killer that I have covered, which the first was Zaniac, or Brad Wolf from the Loki series. So who is Muse? We don't know, actually. We have no idea who Muse is. We never actually learn his real name. But he is an artist and a serial killer with serious Hannibal Lecter vibes. His crimes become art in some way, murals, paintings, kind of like lifestyle vignettes, if you will. Even, you know, with the vignettes, he would be propping up his victims to make them look like they're doing mundane tasks, even though they have been killed. Matt Murdock was not there when his first blood mural was presented, but he was there when the vignette was presented. And sensing that the Muse was still around, he changes into the Daredevil suit and goes to find him. But Muse had already escaped and ends up going to a courtroom that is discussing whether they should allow public access to the blood mural, which you would think would be a resounding no, because that's a health concern, let alone an active crime scene, but it's New York. What you gonna do? The Muse ends up kidnapping the judge, a councilwoman, and 2 police officers, and dragging them into the sewer to end up being his next art project. Thankfully, that does not happen because the victims are saved by another vigilante named Blind Spot. But the Muse gouges out his eyes and leaves before Daredevil can even get there. On the way out, to kind of distract Daredevil, he ends up freeing a bunch of the victims that he has captured and ends up getting arrested by the police officers that Daredevil had recruited. Daredevil, who is now infuriated because Blind Spot has had his eyes gouged out, goes off to face the Muse, who is now arrested, and the Muse breaks his own hand because he believes that it is an eye for an eye, that this is what Daredevil would want from him because Blind Spot can't do vigilante work anymore and now he can't do art. And when Wilson Fisk becomes mayor of New York, he actually really admires Daredevil for continuing to do vigilante work even though it is illegal, because that's what Wilson Fisk ends up doing. And he escapes prison and then does a lot of murals around town, like highlighting vigilantes, and he's suddenly, you know, switched sides. He stopped from completing his mural for the Punisher. When the police come to stop him, he ends up killing all of the police officers, and then they end up framing Punisher on that instead. Eventually, Blind Spot is healed from his injuries, and he and the Muse end up fighting once more. But even though he does get the upper hand in the fight, he refuses to kill Muse. And in response to that, Muse just walks into a fire and dies. If you like this and you want to see more like this, be sure to leave a comment and like and hit that notification bell and comment and subscribe and all that good stuff so we can keep bringing you some fun lore in the future, and I will see you guys next time. Stay geeky. Bye!